welcome to Sunday Morning Coffee with Keto Simple. My name is Dustin. I'm so glad you're here. This stream will be starting soon, so grab your coffee, get comfortable, and settle in. We're building a strong and supportive community, so say hello in the chat, ask questions, and feel free to use super chats if there's anything that you want to see highlighted. Thank you for being here and being a part of this journey. Let's keep it positive and respectful as we connect and grow together. I can't wait to get started. Good morning. Happy Sunday. Sorry I'm late. I'm always late. It's my show. I do what I want. But I'm excited to be here. I'm always excited to be here. I'm excited to see your beautiful, smiley, happy, joyous faces. You guys are always the joy of my week. 100% the joy of my week, just so you know. Just want to make sure that you understand that for sure. But yes, it's Sunday. We're here together. Happy, happy, happy. And I want to talk about something today that most of you already know, familiar with. But after 6 months of showing up, learning, studying, and honestly pushing myself in a way I haven't had to push myself in a very, very long time, as of yesterday at 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, I have officially, with 200 others, well, 199 others, I suppose, graduated from Dr. Barry's Proper Human Diet Health Coach Certification course. And I am proud, not just of the certificate, but the fact that I stayed consistent and I proved myself that I could learn still. I was worried because I graduated high school in 1998. And haven't really had to take a test or anything like that. So, I mean, you know, you do a little bit here and there when you're dealing with work, especially if you're in, you know, if you are doing things like office work, there's always learning modules and little things like that that you do over time, building skills, how to, you know, effective communication, things like that, right? But, I mean, and I guess realistically, this is really what that came down to is a lot of the knowledge that is necessary for my brush. My lips are a little weird today, but anyway, most of the knowledge that I have accumulated over the last 10 years or so, while being involved with this community, with this subject matter, after starting keto, starting this ketogenic lifestyle, towards the end of 2016, started earlier in mid 2016, June, May, July, before I had my hernia surgery in August of 2016, and you don't just go in and jump headfirst and do, something like a ketogenic diet without doing some, due diligence, at least some, right? And then once I found out that it was working for me, a hair in my mouth, it's all right. It's just kind of how it works, right? If anybody want to know what it's like to have a beard and a mustache, it's just hair in your mouth all the time. But taking the time to truly dive in and learn and become really a nerd, a geek, which I don't think those are derogatory terms at all. I just want everyone to know, lost my train of thought there. But I mean, just going in and digging and digging and digging and learning as much as I can, watching countless hours of low carb down under, low carb USA, finding out who Dave Feldman is, Jason Fung is, listening to countless hours of all the podcasting. At the time, Jimmy Moore was a huge podcaster. I listened to countless hours of Jimmy Moore back then. Two keto dudes. So many different people. You started following people like Dr. Eric Westman, and we were looking at Professor Noakes, and again, Jason Fung, and, Dr. Finney and Dr. Volek, and all of these wonderful people who are really kind of the forefathers of this community. And even, and then a little later, Dr. Barry kind of comes into play. And then so many more. But there's so much, and I have, put so much effort into this community, into myself, because I wanted to make sure if I was going to put all my eggs into one basket, that it was the right flipping basket. I had gone down many roads trying to find health, trying to make myself better, and it always failed. So that's kind of where that is. And, and then kind of tying it all together and making sure that I have some sort of designation for myself, even if it's a health coaching certificate, it's still something that does tie it all together for me, says that I do know what I'm talking about, at least mostly. I'm never going to be finished learning, trying to understand newer and, and more nuance about this lifestyle. But, it's just not just a certificate, but it's the fact that I stayed consistent and proved myself. And, but it does give me something, where does this go next? I don't know. I have to start an LLC. I have to start putting together a business, start looking for clients, trying to decide what kind of clients I want to work with. How do I want to structure this? How do I want to go about handling this? As a person, I only have bandwidth for so many clients, especially in the very beginning, until I get experience, until I get all of the things that make it possible to start maybe doing group, classes and things like that. I know people kind of get upset, if I'm paying this kind of money, but I'm in a class with 50 people, that's 50 people hearing the same thing that I would tell a person individually. Because, what's the goal? What's the goal for this community? This goal is to showcase a better way. The goal of this community is to lead by example, that there is a way that we can live that is sustainable, that is able to bring people out of things like food addiction. They can kind of take the reins of the food addiction, whether or not it ever goes away. They can hold those reins and they can rein themselves in, and they can find satiety. They can find consistency. They can find all the things that they're looking for, whether it's weight loss or autoimmune or all of the things that we have seen over the course of the tenure of our time together in this community. The things that we've seen get better. Again, we can't throw the C word around, the C-U-R-E word. We can't throw that around, but we can say puts in remission, that it makes it better. From my experience, I've seen these things. Again, I'm still not a doctor. I'm not a healthcare professional. But one thing that I noticed the other day, and it's not on my list of things to talk about today, but it was something that I was thinking about last night as I was drifting off to sleep, and I'm shocked actually, that I remember, is I was looking for a couple of photographs the other day to send to a friend of mine. And I've got a huge backup of photographs to go through. Multiple, like 15 years of photographs, pictures, screenshots, all the things that are compiled over multiple phones, multiple years, saved for posterity, Disney trips and vacations, and what have I eaten that day, food plate pictures, all these things. And as I'm going through them, and I kind of started prior to when we started keto, because I wasn't quite sure what I was looking for or when the timeline was. But what I wanted to talk about this experience of going through and looking at these photos and seeing the before photos of Chandra and I and the kids when she and I were both at our heaviest, and then scrolling through the photos in time and seeing those photos change, seeing the process work, seeing the lifestyle play itself out, going from being people who didn't go do things to being a couple that went on vacation and went hiking in Colorado, seeing things change, seeing things of us going out and going boating and doing things and being outside and enjoying life again. And like I said, I wasn't planning to talk about this. It's not even on my list or in my information in front of me to keep me on track, because I am a person who needs that to stay on track. I will be all over the place if I didn't. But it's important, I think, to go back and look where we've come from, how we started, where we went. Because again, I've gained a bunch of weight back and I'm not satisfied. I'm not happy. I'm disappointed in myself. I'm infuriated with myself because all along the journey from start to where I got to my lowest, I'm thinking, I'm never going to go back. This is it. I'm done. I'm never going back. And to sit here today and be not all the way back where I was, but, a decent, hefty percentage towards that direction. Frustration and disappointment, sadness, to go back and look at those photos to see how far we came, to just kind of see it slip away. And I think it's important, again, for us, if you have the capability of going back and looking at that kind of thing, to remind us how far exactly we've come. Because I think when we get to a certain point, we kind of figure, well, this is the new normal, and we just kind of let it go. In the beginning, we're fighting tooth and nail to gain ground, to lose weight, for that scale to move, for the inches to fall off, for the clothes to be, for those from my experience, I was buying smaller clothes on clearance as I found them. So if I found if I found pants that I liked, I would buy something that fit me at the time so I could wear them then. And then I would buy 2 or 3 sizes smaller of the same pants if they were on clearance and they had them in stock. There was some pants that I bought one time. They were pants that I was really excited to be able to wear. They were a brand name pants, and I've never really been a person to wear brand name clothes my entire life. I think one of the, when I was younger in elementary school, I would wear, maybe some name brand stuff and some Jordache, if that dates me. And then in high school, I wore Jinko, which was a name brand. I had a pair of Karl Kani shorts. If you guys are familiar with Mr. Karl Kani, he was a designer in the 90s. I think that was like middle school, late middle school. And then I got into high school and the Jinkos were a thing. Late high school, the late 90s, 97, 98, 99 were Jinkos. But then I just kind of went to, I was wearing Walmart t-shirts, whatever pants I could find. I've never been a big person about labels. I've never been a big person about fancy name brand clothes outside of some shoes. I like shoes. I like Adidas. I like that kind of stuff. I have a couple pair of Hey Dudes now. Got a pair of boots and a pair of shoes that the kids got me for Christmas. But I was excited to see that those clothes were fitting, and then I was going to be able to get down to wearing those clothes. But I never made it. I never made it that far because, and then eventually Chandra found them and ended up seeing that they had stopped making them, and then the value went up, and she sold them on eBay. But again, I think it's important for us to keep track of where we were, who we were, where we've come from, how far we've come, where are we now in relation to how far we came. Have we slipped up? Have we gained weight back? Have we done that? Because I think that's super important for us to keep track of. I think that's one big, huge step in this, because again, this is a forever thing for us. This proper human diet is a lifestyle. It is not a diet. It might be proper human diet, but that's not what it is to us. It is a transition that most of us have made to enhance, improve, and often save our own lives. So, just to kind of button up what we were talking about prior to that little diatribe of mine, I was a little unsure. There was self-doubt. There's always self-doubt. Imposter syndrome, whether it's Dr. Barry's course, even the moments before I hit, even the moments, hold on. Even the moments before I hit go live on these streams week in and week out, there is a tinge of imposter syndrome. How is it going to go? Am I going to bring value? Am I going to bring what you expect from me besides being late? And these are, this is what we all deal with. And I think a lot of that comes from a lot of us are comfortable in our lives a lot, and stepping out and doing things that are uncomfortable every single Sunday. As much as I enjoy this, there's a tinge of uncomfortable to it. I'm going to sit here for 1, 2, 3, 4 hours staring into a camera and talking to you, pouring out my heart, my emotions, telling you about my week, my day, things that are going right, things that are going wrong, talking with you about all of the things that you're going through. Not just that, but the channel. And then this, as of the last month or so, the channel has gone through a transformation for the meantime, where views have gone through the roof. There was a point in time where I was getting 80 to 90,000 views every 48 hours. I think there was a 48-hour period where I got 200,000 views. Now, all of this centered around one 30-second little video that I released over 2 years ago. But I'm still getting right now 25,000 views every 48 hours. And again, that brings its own set of challenges, its own set of imposter syndrome, me thinking, can I do that again? Can I keep this momentum going? Am I good enough to make content that is valuable, engaging, and worthy of the views that I need the channel to get to keep moving forward? And I think that's something that we all face on a day-to-day basis, whether it's our jobs, our family, our friends, whether you're involved in a church, you're involved in youth activities. These are all things that we deal with on a day-to-day basis. Am I good enough? It's extremely normal to have these feelings. Doesn't make it easier. For the longest time, if I could just get one video to break out, if I could just get one video to kind of zoom out of here, then I will be doing better. And I'm coming up on, I'm over 90 or not over 9,100 subscribers. Coming up on the goal that I have been pining for years of 10,000 subscribers. I wanted to hit 10,000 subscribers in 2024. I wanted to hit 10,000 subscribers in 2025. Now, that goal is finally within my grasp, but what am I going to do with it? What am I going to do with this certificate from Dr. Berry? What am I going to do with the newfound perspective of looking through all those photos? What am I going to do with all of the information and anything and all the things that I have at my fingertips? And how does that fit into everyone's day-to-day lives? Let's stew on that for a little bit while I go to the comments, because I've neglected you all for far too long. Over 20 whole minutes. Terry's asking, where is the Buy Me a Coffee link? What the hell? What the hell? Buy Me a Coffee is in the KetoSimple.shop. I don't even know. I don't know. I can't look. Let me look and see. Is it in my description? I don't know if it's in the description in here or not. Support the channel. Support the channel. KetoSimple.shop. I don't think I've taken all the other links out. There was a link for I still have this links in here for the granddaughter's registry. But yeah. Don't forget to hit like and thumbs up and all that stuff. You know what I mean? But we'll get the Buy Me a Coffee link in here in just a second. Let me see if I can find it for real quick here. Here's a Buy Me a Coffee link. Evelyn is here. Good morning, Evelyn. I am so very glad to see you, my dear. Good morning, friends. If you are new or watching live for the first time, please introduce yourself. Tell us where you are watching from. Do you have any questions? Put QQQ or question or utilize a super chat so I am sure to see it. And we will address all of the fun things. Mr. Gugahan is here as well. Welcome, my friend. How are you doing, sir? Good morning. Frying up some bacon and eggs to enjoy during the live. I am curious to see what the topic this morning is all about. I hope it doesn't disappoint, my friend. One of the things that I do worry about is I'm going to come on here and not have something engaging enough to keep your attention, to keep you viewing, to keep you hanging out with me. Maritza is here. Good morning, Dustin and everyone. Hope you are doing well. I'm doing fantastic. Erin, Miss Booby Goats, is here. She's getting ready for coffee, which I have not yet had a single sip of coffee. Before I do, I have some salty here to drink. If you are curious, there is a new flavor of salty out. Let's go ahead and showcase this here a little bit. Maybe hopefully pay some bills. You know how we do here. Try to sell some salty, support our friends over at Keto Chow and Salty, and get you a discount on all the things that you like to buy from them. But they have a new flavor. It is Granny Apple. It's fantastic, by the way. Chris said he likes this better than grape. Can you believe that? Chris said this is better than grape. Now, this is a fantastic flavor, and I enjoy it very much. But I personally feel that saying this is better than grape is crazy talk, because grape, even though you can't buy it right now, it's sold out. It is fantastic. It's my personal favorite flavor. I have a bag in my room and I have 2 bags downstairs. Hopefully they last long enough to get me through to when they come back. But this is the flavor of the day, flavor of the month, Granny Apple. It is delicious. Truly, truly fantastic. Save 10%. Use my link, KetoSimple.shop. Yes. Mr. Biscuits in the house. Good morning, fam. How are you doing, my friend? Brian Dish is in the house. Good morning. Again, I'm going to need to take a drink. I've been talking a lot. My throat is parched. Again, this is great. As soon as it's available, I will let you all know. I'll let you know when it's available again because it's fantastic. But welcome, Brian Dish. I'm glad to see you. Yes, don't forget to like and subscribe and share it to your friends. It's a little song I wrote. Speaking of... And I don't know where my duck went. He's here somewhere.
Let's get dangerous.
It's here somewhere. It's on the floor. I'm not going to go down there and look for it right now, but it fell on the floor. Yes. Brian Doyle's in the house. Good morning, my friend. How are you doing? Glad to see your bright and smiley face. Along with Jeff Fafa. Good morning, Jeff Fafa. I hope you're doing my friend. Hope you're doing well, my friend. Don't mind me. English is a first language, and I have yet to master it. Sherry Lynn is here. Good morning, Sherry Lynn. How are you? Good morning, everybody. At work, of course. Of course. Trying to listen in. Well, welcome, my dear. Glad to see you. Cindy is here. I'm here. Almost on time this morning. Yeah. Glad to see you. And look who it is, our good friend, Rockin' Coach Amy. Congratulations on your graduation. We graduated yesterday, same time. We had a little Zoom call with Mr. Dr. Barry. As always, it's a great time to be involved with Mr. Dr. Barry. Yes, I am musty and running late. Sean Bradley's in the house. Good morning, Sean. I hope you are doing very well, my friend. Let me go ahead and pop this out so I can see what's going on. Things are popping in and popping out. Oh, let's see. Mr. Googahan says, well, so much for enjoying breakfast while watching the live. I already finished, LOL. I was really in the mood for some bacon and eggs this morning, and it was so good. Yes. I hope it was delicious. Brenda Foley is here. Good morning, Brenda. So very, very glad to see you, Brenda. How are you? And Sandy Blythe is here. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Oh, my ear is itchy. Oh, there we go. Everybody saying hello. Everybody saying congratulations. Woo! Everybody's saying congratulations. And Evelyn says, good morning, John Googahan, Cindy. All the names. John Googahan is saying, is the price of my membership going up now? I will not be changing the price of membership. One never knows if I am going to add another tier. I don't know. Depends on what you guys want, what you're willing, what you are looking to, how you want to support the channel, all those things. I want to make sure you get value out of the channel, right? I want to make sure you're getting value and not just, doing all the things. Mr. Carl is here. Good morning. He's waiting on his coffee. My coffee's sitting right here in my Buc-ee's cup. I get to go to Buc-ee's on Thursday. I'll be in Dixon, Tennessee, or on my way to Dixon, Tennessee, Thursday afternoon. I will be going to the screening of The Cholesterol Code with Dr. Barry, Dave Feldman, Chris and Ash, and Amanda Decker, and I imagine others will be there. I would be surprised if Nisha wasn't also involved. We will see who all else shows up, and I imagine there will be some other folks that I am not familiar with who are going to be there. If you're going to be there, say hello. If you're just hanging out on the back end and not really talking very much, let me know. I imagine a lot of people who don't know who I am are going to be there, and that's just fine. Carl says, congrats, Dustin, on making it official. You have been coaching from your channel for years, and now it's official. Woo! Yeah. Is that what's over? I'm done and the thumbnail's all about? Yeah, class is over. I'm done. Well, done is a strong word. I don't think we're ever really done. I think there's every 24-month recertification. There's always things to learn. There's always new things to talk about. There's always new things to try to understand, new things we're going to find out, things we didn't know yesterday that we'll find out tomorrow. You know how it works. Finding out things that we're stressed about today may not be so important tomorrow. You know how it goes. Things that we're not stressed out about today that we are stressed about tomorrow. You know how it goes. And Mr. Biscuit says, my goal is to be here for my kids. Everything else will sort itself. I agree. Sean says, question, if you are a certified health coach, doesn't that make you a healthcare professional? It does not. In the sense of a healthcare professional can provide health and medical advice. I am not providing any advice. As a health coach, what we do is help you find the path for the goals that you have set for yourself. And we also try to make sure that the goals that you do set are obtainable and help make those sustainable and long-term and help you find success. That's paraphrasing. I don't think that's in a textbook or anything like that, but that's how I see what a health coach is. So still not a healthcare professional in the eyes of YouTube and all the places that would try to make me look bad, make me in trouble, whatever. Sued, all those things, right? Josephine is here, dear. How are you all the way from Australia? I hope you haven't slipped on your beans. I don't even know if you guys even pay attention to Bluey, but we've started watching Bluey again. Again, the new granddaughter's only 3 months old, but she likes the colors. And it was so cute last night. Our daughter was getting her to giggle. She started to giggle now. And so she's making her giggle, and then she was singing, I love you. And then she was making coo sounds that sounded just like I love you back. Like, I love you, and I'm sitting there freaking out, and she's freaking out, and I couldn't get video of it, and Ma's at work, Shander's at work, so we didn't get any video of it, and I'm like, no! But they're at that lovely age where everything is so super exciting every day, and she's got those cheeks. I just want to chew on her cheeks. You know what I mean? Her feet in her cheeks. She's got delicious cheeks. You know, the cheeks. Thank you, Amy. Congratulations to you and everybody there. It's a lovely thing. Steve, shut up. Steve, I was going boating, I did go vote, but I'm not. You don't need to be that much in shape to go voting. We were going boating, nerd. Anyway, my good friend Steve Elkin, we've been friends for about 118 years. Say hello to Steve. Make him feel welcome. That's what you get. But welcome. I'm glad to see you, my friend. And everyone's saying hello to everybody. Sean, I hope you are doing okay. Praying for you, says Amy. Brian says, starting my workout. Listen while you sweat. There you go. You like Adidas because of Korn. I don't know. I was wearing Adidas before Korn was. And then Korn reached out to Adidas to try to get a deal with them, and they said no. So they ended up making a deal with Puma, and that's why they switched and started wearing Puma in their videos. But I just like Adidas shoes. I have an Adidas hoodie that I love. It's just been cool for me for a long time. And it was funny because I was watching a thing about, and I don't know if this is important to talk about now. I guess I won't talk about it now, but yeah. Got to get moving. Keep moving on. Spring is here. That's right. Spring is here today. It's going to be 83 today. Tomorrow, a high of 50, then 58, 66, and then back to 80 on Thursday. Woo, woo. I do like it chilly. I'm not ready for winter to totally give up yet. I like it chilly. I know it's like when it's nice to start to get warm out a little bit. Yeah. Mr. Gugahan says, these date references are starting to make me feel old. High school in the late 90s. I graduated high school in 83. I was married with 2 sons in the late 90s. Whew, yeah. That's pretty nuts. Yeah, I graduated school in 98. Brenda's granddaughter likes to shoot hoops. I love it. And Brian says, those dates aren't making me feel old, but think I was totally different stage of life. I feel better than I did then. Yeah. All right. Sean says, I'm doing okay, Cindy. Thank you for asking. I am going to the doctor on Thursday. I'm hoping the doctor will be able to tell me what's going on. There is more than sleep apnea going on here. It could be a lot of cortisol keeping you from really getting a good night's sleep. Who knows you could be under a lot of stress. I hope you get it figured out. And keep us posted. Janelle is here. Good morning, Janelle. So very glad to see you. How are you doing? Everyone's talking about all the things. And Sean says, love you guys so much. It really helps knowing how much my keto family cares. We do care. We really do. And Amy says, I don't spend a lot on clothes either. I don't need the name brands. So I am planning for my my hot girl summer. So I'm planning to be minimalistic flip-flops, like light shorts, like basketball shorts all summer, a light t-shirt. And then I've got myself a little crossbody bag to carry any extras that don't fit in my pockets. I don't lose stuff. I still, even no matter how light my shorts are or whatever, I still carry because it's a crazy world out there. Janelle doesn't know why they're awake this early. Well, I know, because you want to see me. Who wouldn't want to look at this at the first thing in the morning? Oh, let's see. Amy says, Brian, he's not getting worse, but not getting better. So maybe he's only eating carnivore for 2 weeks. So Amy's husband's eating carnivore, kind of starting doing that now. That's a good thing to see. Amy says, Dustin, oddly enough, some of my first videos are gaining views and subs, so it's weird. Yeah, that's the thing is some of my older videos are the ones that still maintain good views to this day. So that's the way that it works. Josephine says, sorry if I missed anything. I had to take the bin out. The bin man's coming. You got to take the bin down for the bin man. Jen Lucas says, I'm listening in. Crummy headache. CPAP is more trouble than it's worth so far. Oh, my goodness. The CPAP is irritating, and it even irritates me even to this day, 10 years in. But I know for me, not using it is going to be far more detrimental to my health than the discomfort that I feel from wearing it. I would like to, hopefully they'll figure out a way, like I've been looking for, like the problem is like someone like Joe Rogan will say, you know, I use a mouthpiece to sleep at night. And then you go and you try to find out what mouthpiece he uses, and every single company says they're the ones that Joe Rogan uses. So there's no like ability to truly narrow it down, and like trying to figure out, he's got 3,000 episodes. How do you narrow down which episode he was talking about his mouthpiece and mention the brand name? That's a problem. You know. And Sean says grape has been sold out for a few weeks now. I know, and I'm so very, very upset. Let's see. Aaron says, what's the weird sweetener they're using in the apple one or the grape one? Apparently the caramel one has stevia. They all use stevia. They all use stevia, and they use a high quality stevia. As far as I'm, that's what Chris tells me, and I know because most stevia is bitter to me, or it gives me headaches, and these don't. So let me go ahead and look it up here real quick. Let me see if I can find. I'm gonna find the new flavor. Let's see. I wish they'd make a lemonade flavor, a lemonade flavor. That's what I want. A lemonade flavor. So the ingredients: Sora sea salts contain sodium chloride, magnesium chloride, and then there's malic acid, potassium chloride, Reb D and Reb M stevia, leaf extract. So there's both Reb D and Reb A stevia. Let's look up and see what that means. Let's go ahead and see if we can figure out that natural flavors and acacia gum. Of course, there's going to be flavors in there for it to taste like green Jolly Ranchers. Let's see. Was it Reb D and Reb M stevia? Let's see. They are next generation stevia sweeteners derived from the stevia leaf that offer a superior sugar-like taste compared to traditional Reb A, with significantly less bitterness and no metallic aftertaste. They are non-caloric, zero glycemic, and ideal for health-conscious keto or diabetic diets. Taste profile: Reb M and D contain more glucose units than standard Reb A, resulting in a cleaner, sweeter, and less bitter taste than that closely mimics sugar. Let's see. Because they exist in very small quantities in the stevia plant, they are often produced via advanced techniques. Let's see. Cost and availability. They're more expensive, it looks like. Now, what I've understood from Chris and multiple live streams that he's talked in other live streams about stevia is closely related to ragweed. So the higher the quality, the less it's likely to cause issues for those people who are allergic to ragweed or have ragweed allergies. Yeah, Cindy says, Chris Bear also told me he likes Granny Apple more than Blue Slushies. Nobody cares about Blue Slushies because Blue Slushies ain't grape. Oh, let's see. Evelyn says she's had a 2-day headache. Oh my goodness. I'm so very sorry, dear. Steve Boyd is in the house. Good morning, Steve. How are you? Welcome, welcome. I'm not sure if I've seen you here before. If I have, welcome back. If you are new, welcome, and thank you for joining us. Steadfast is here. That's Sharon. Good morning, Sharon. She says, good morning, Dustin and friends. Smoothie is here. Good morning. Morning, everybody. Good morning. Cindy says, they just put up a post that delayed our live stream tonight until 8 instead of 6. I think you're going to be going head to head then with Butter Bob Briggs. That's okay. There's enough. There's enough room for everybody. Carl says, I have my ice cream. I have my coffee. Cherry ice cream bones coffee with stevia and keto brain. So yum. I have put in here, I have linked. I am not an affiliate directly with Keto Brains, but I can stack their stuff here in on the live. So there's Keto Brains, there's Bones Coffee, there is the coffee that I use, the Nescafe Instant Espresso, all the things. So I'm always trying to put little things like that up there for you guys if you are so interested. I don't know what kind of discount you guys get, if any, honestly, to tell you the truth, by clicking on those affiliate links. I know I get a certain percentage. I was looking at the percentages on my dashboard, and I sold like 200, and let me look and see what it was, because I know it's not very much. Go to shopping. Let me look at this. It was kind of sad, really. In the last 28 days, with these new YouTube affiliate things where I can tag things in the videos, I sold $222.63 worth of products over 4 sales, and the revenue to me, hold on, everybody sit down, okay? You just have to relax, sit back, hold on tight. 39 cents. 39 cents. And it was stuff that I didn't even tag. I don't know what's happening with it. It's a new process. I'm not exactly sure what's going on with that. There's connected stores, affiliate program. I can connect different stores. I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. Meeting Wellness. Christy is here. Good morning. Glad to see you. It's been a while. It's been a while. I'm glad to see you. And Brian Dish says, Dustin, can you explain why some people have addiction troubles, why others never do? I imagine there's some evolutionary things involved. Signaling pathways. That's like people who can... that's like how people become, dependent on substances and others don't. Like my father was an alcoholic. My brother's dad was an alcoholic. My grandfather on my mother's side was an alcoholic. I'm not an alcoholic. It's just, I think that there's got to be some evolutionary tactics in there. There's also probably just the connectors that are made or the dopamine receptors and how dopamine impacts people. That's like there's people out there who can literally open up a package of Oreos, eat an Oreo, close the package and put it back, and then they never go back to it, or they forget that it's there, and then they go back and it's stale or whatever. Or the people who can actually eat what is the serving size, the made up serving sizes that are on the packages. I don't know. I'm sure there's some detailed scientific explanation out there. I'd imagine there's some pathway issues, some all that fun stuff. Evolution. I imagine there's some how things are done when you're a kid. I know that my food addiction issues are probably stem from the way that we treated food as a kid. We were poor. So my mom would feed us and she would make it. She was basically split everything into thirds. So my brother got food, I got food, she got food, and we all ate the same thing. We all had the same amount. And so whether we were fully hungry or so some nights we had enough food to eat till we were stuffed, and some nights we had enough food to just kind of not be hungry. And food was love. That's how my mom showed love. That's how my mom we interacted with her. We sat with her, and that's just what it was. Aaron says, I learned yesterday that saltwater crocodile memorizes patterns. And if you do something or do the same thing around the waterway, washing dishes while camping, you could get attacked usually the third day. Well, I mean, that makes sense. That makes sense. Simple pattern recognition isn't something that takes a lot of brain power. And you got to understand, too, like the saltwater crocodiles have been around for millions and millions of years with very little outside evolution. Like, they don't look much different. They're probably, chickens and birds are kind of the closest relatives we have to dinosaurs. That's how I feel about it. Carl has an interesting take here. Healthcare professionals don't know much about health, but do get paid. So yeah, they are professionals. That's true. Run DMC wore Adidas before Korn. That's true. That's like that and those thick gold chains. Dun, 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 dun. I love some Run DMC. I love that. Love Run DMC. I loved all the old school rap. Mixed Master Ice. Beastie Boys. Everybody. Christy said, in Cali, we skip right to summer. LOL, it's been the hundreds and this week in the 90s. Gross. There's always reasons for me not to live in California. Brian says, in 1998, I was really planning for my retirement. Christy got married in 1998. Biscuit says, my Adidas walked through concert doors and roamed all over Coliseum floors. I love it. Oh. Calvin Klein's no friend of mine. Don't want nobody's name on my behind. That's right. And there was a question about Brian's kidneys to Cindy. He goes for more blood work and follow up in a couple of weeks, so we'll know more then. Thanks for asking. Well, we are hopefully going to hear about that. And Christy says my older videos are popular still too. I've been looking. There's a lot of tools in the YouTube studio to start looking at analytics, looking at how to find what videos to make, because it's easy for us to sit there and go, okay, I'm going to make a video about this. But if it's not a video people are looking for, it's just going to sit there until maybe one day they decide to look for it. And Amy says, Christian, my old vids didn't get views when they were released, but they are getting views now. And really, that's the way that YouTube works, because when you release a video, YouTube isn't quite sure who to show it to. So it takes time for YouTube to kind of figure out your channel, figure out who to put the videos in front of, so that the people that they show it to will click on it and watch and stay on the platform. Risa is here. Good morning, Risa. How are you? So very glad to see you. And Sean would like to see a peach flavored salty. I want a lemonade flavored salty. That's what I want. I want a real lemonade flavored salty. And Aaron says, Stevia just messes up my hunger signals, so I don't use it. I understand that. But I still kind of wonder, like, how much we truly understand hunger signaling. Like, what? There's so many questions that I have about hunger signal. If I can even talk today, the questions that I have about hunger hunger signaling. There we go. It's almost as if I know the language. English. Do you speak it? Sometimes, but not very well. But anyway, I'm curious because, there's a lot of things that we talk about, and we talk about our signaling. Like, does that impact your satiety? Does it impact, like if you're having something with stevia and you've eaten 2 pounds of beef and you just don't feel hungry anymore like you would without it? I mean, there's questions because, I know that's a very individualistic thing, a very individual N equals 1 thing. But I'm always curious, like, because hunger signaling has got to be something that is evolutionary as well. We have learned, and our bodies have understood how to tell us that it's hungry and all these things over millennia, I should say. So I'm just kind of curious how it all really truly works out. Reese says, I want the chocolate PB salty so bad. We'll order some. Do they have it? Is it in stock? I don't know. I haven't checked. And Evelyn asked, did you get the tester peach, Sean? And Mr. Gugahan is heading to church. Have a great day. Well, thank you for joining us, Mr. John Gugahan. As always, so very glad to see you, my friend. Nancy is here. Good morning, Dustin, and all my dear friends. Well, welcome. Time to celebrate. Rick got an iguana. Woo! Do I have an applause? I don't know. There we go. Rick got an iguana. That's what I'm talking about. Yeah, Cindy, that's right. No matter what day or time or live schedule, someone or many others are doing it at the same time. That's 100%. Iguana for lunch. What a treat. Do you have a video of showing how you clean an iguana, or would they take it down? I don't know. Do they take down cleaning, like animal cleaning videos, and how to prep and clean an animal to get it ready to eat? The cooking part is obviously okay, but Andy, she says, good morning. I slept in after a short insomnia from 2 to 3 a.m. Well, welcome. Glad you are here. And I hope you are well rested, my friend. If not, take a nap later. You know what I mean? We're adults. We do what we want to do in living color. Amy's got to run to church. Hope you got your running shoes on. Have a great day. JJ says, yeah, not one of those people, LOL. Good morning. I don't know what people. What do you mean, those people? I have no idea what we're talking about. Oh. Sean says, my dad and grandfather were both alcoholics. I made the conscious choice that I would not become an alcoholic. Yeah, there was a time where I enjoyed drinking on the weekends. I never really drank during the week. I've never been a person that likes alcohol with food. You go out for dinner and people are like, ooh, got to have beer with food. That never tasted good to me. I'd rather have soda with my food, which I don't know which is healthier, beer or soda in the grand scheme of things. But I'd always drink the soda instead. I never liked drinking. I wouldn't mind having a drink or two after the meal, but I just didn't want a beer or wine with the meal. I don't know. That's never been my thing, and that's probably a good thing. I'm sure there's nature and nurture involved in that. And I'm sure this, like if you came from, a family where there was never, it was never like a worry you always had. And again, this is all like, I'm sure there's examples on all spectrums, right? But I imagine like if you lived in a house where there was never not an abundance of food, there was no food scarcity, so to speak, there was probably never an issue. Reese says, I could eat 2 Oreos, put it away, but I used to sit with the package and just down it. My mom was a cigarette smoker, which means she was addicted to something, not food. I think it is hereditary. I mean, I smoked for a long time. I did smoke until 2010, but food was always more important. Food was always more important than alcohol. Food was always more important than cigarettes. I mean, and food is one of those things, again, being addicted to food is difficult because you can't just stop food. You can stop what type of food, but that's like if you're an alcoholic and you go, well, I'm not going to drink vodka anymore. I'm just going to switch to whiskey. It's not the same. Like with a food addiction, you have to find ways to eat that help with your satiety signaling and help you on a path to being a healthier person. But you can't stop eating altogether. That's the major, huge issue when we're dealing with food addiction. Reese says, I don't think eating Oreos or any snack is from hunger. I think that's from boredom. So when you keep busy, tend to not snack or snack less. Yeah, I mean, that's like the hard part, like when you're driving in a car. Like if I'm on a road trip, I want snacks. Even if it's just a cup of coffee or some soda, like a soda to drink on and sip on while I'm driving, something, because like you need something. I always have a coffee in when I'm driving. If I'm going to be on a long few hour drive, I've got coffee with me. Very important. Yeah, addiction is both genetic and epigenetic. Yeah. Risa says, hi, Aaron. I miss your lives. Can't wait until Easter's over so you can start again. Tuber chat. What's up, Kevin? How you doing, my friend? How are you, Kevin? Welcome. Everybody say hello to Kevin. Kevin is a great man. He's got an awesome channel that helps up-and-coming YouTubers kind of find their footing, helps grow a community of people who help people with their channels and all that stuff. Lots of great information. Reese says, Beastie Boys are so good. I even had their first album. I love Beastie Boys. They're so good. Take care, Miss Aaron Booby Goats. A caboose is always behind. Is it, though? Can it go at the beginning? Risa says, some of my older, weirder videos tend to get a lot of views, which views such as the flower weevil videos. I get comments on that one a lot for some reason. Has anyone tried the pina colada? I think I just got that yesterday. I don't know why it took so long for me to get. I don't know. I got something from them yesterday. I haven't opened it yet. Yeah, Mr. Biscuits. It's like you're a cat, because you can have a cat named Mr. Biscuits. Oh, Mr. Biscuits, look at him. He's so cute, Mr. Biscuits. It's like Mr. Business. Mr. Business, which is a cat on Bob's Boogers. If you like Bob's Burgers, whatever, it's a great show. I love it. There's a lot of episodes, 16 seasons. Watch it. But says that the hunger signaling and pathway reward signaling are often blurred. Yeah. Risa says, I have not tried pina colada salty yet. Not sure about that one. I do like the pina colada keto chow, so I will most likely buy some at some point. Carl says, the problem with hunger signals is that we cannot be objective in our interpretations. So we confuse actual hunger need with desire and want and addictive drives. Yeah. You've got hunger signaling. Now try salary, hourly. What are you going to do? I have no idea. Tasty lunch in my future. I'm glad you got an iguana. Oh, chocolate peanut butter was a prototype, hasn't been sold in bags yet. Keeping my fingers crossed. All right. I have some iguana cutting and cooking videos. All right. And Mr. Biscuit says, food noise doesn't always equal hunger. A good test is, are you sardine hungry? That's true. Risa says, Andy, I also had a bit of insomnia last night. Slept for 3.5 hours, woke, didn't sleep for 2 hours, and I fell back asleep. That will mess me up for the rest of the day, I'm sure. Oh, my goodness. Oreos is what JJ was talking about. Mr. Biscuit says, beer and food urges for me were always 100% addiction-based for both. Yeah. Sean says, hot wings and beer. Breakfast in the Navy was cold pizza and warm beer. Let's see. Pizza came from the fridge, and all the ice in the cooler melted overnight. Ugh. I don't even, like, that just sounds awful. Like, pizza's great. I love pizza, and I love hot wings. Just give me a Coke Zero or a Diet Pepsi or something. Risa says, Evelyn, I bought a big bag of pina colada before it was gone. Still have quite a bit to get me through this summer. All right. And Mr. Biscuit says, redirecting addiction urges to healthier pursuits has served me in healing and forming new healthier pathways for reward. Yeah, 100%. And I'm seeing everybody saying hello to Kevin, and Kevin replying, reciprocating those hellos. Evelyn says, yeah, me too, Risa. I had some single packs for taking on vacation. All I need was all I ever, or vacations, all I ever wanted. That's right. Lindy is here. Good morning, my dear. How are you? Glad to see you. And Risa says, my Granny Apple Salty is on its way. Expecting it on Monday. Fantastic. I love that. I don't know. They've updated their affiliate page for Keto Chow and Salty. So I have no real idea, like, if I'm selling anything or not. I have no idea what's going on. I don't know if it's like, I don't know. I have no idea what's really going on here. I have no idea. It used to, like, really lay it out and show me, but it doesn't tell me anything. So I have no idea. So if you've ordered anything, let me know, because I have no idea. If you've ordered from me. I mean, I never know anyway. I just know that people order, but it never tells me who did. But yeah. Biscuit says, came up with the Beasties. We all played the same clubs. Did you ever know them? Because then they got signed to Madonna's label and went on tour with Madonna, which is a ridiculous package. You're like, you're going to see like a virgin. And then you get there and you're like, brass monkey. You're like, what's happening here? Meeting Wellness just subbed over at Tuber Chat. Fantastic. I love it. Evelyn says, same recent mine is coming tomorrow. Third base. Oh, my goodness. Oh, my goodness. Ron Jovi is in the house. Good morning, Ron. How are you doing? Nice beard, brother. Well, thank you so very much. Welcome. I hope you're doing well, my friend. Workout finished. What a thing. What did I miss? You know, we're just partying, drinking coffee. Tony Jacobs is in the house. Good morning, Tony. How are you doing, my friend? Glad to see you. I hope you're doing well. Chris Cook in Nashville is here. Howdy, folks. Wanted to pop in and say hey. Wonderful to see you, Chris. I'm excited to hang out with you guys for a little bit on Thursday. See you and Ash. It has been far, far too long. I'm excited to hang out with you guys, see the movie. And, yeah, I'm super excited. I'm just ridiculously excited for that. Lindy says, not doing great. Got an MRI Friday and now waiting for the neurosurgeon for my back. I can barely walk right now, but staying ketovore. Oh, my goodness, dear. Oh, I'm so very sorry. It makes my shoulder problems not seem so bad. Like, it's like I can't seem to get a good night. Like, I keep sleeping wrong. And I think it's like one of those things like when you hurt and you sleep, you favor whatever is hurting, so then you sleep worse. So then you wake up feeling worse. It's like love is like a circle, never ending. And Chris says, yeah, we miss you, brother. And hello to all the fine folks here in the comments. 100%. I'm glad that you guys are doing good. Make sure that Mel gets some treats, and Ash knows that we are saying hello to her too. She's probably not even awake yet. I mean, I don't blame her. And Tony says, I'm doing well, my friend. Hope all is well with you. I'm doing well. Thank you. So, yeah, I'm doing the best I can. Doing pretty good. I'm excited about Thursday. Going to go to In-N-Out Burger. I'm going to go to Buc-ee's. Going to see Cholesterol Code. Get to see Chris and Ash for a minute and Dr. Barry. And I'm pretty sure that Dave Feldman's supposed to be there. I hope that didn't change. But yeah. But again, so very sorry about all of that stuff going on with you, Lindy. Hope you get it all. I hope they get it figured out. You don't need surgery. I mean, I don't know what like the chances of that are, but I hope that that's the case. I don't want you to have to need surgery. Oh, that's going to be fun. Going to an ice show today for your special needs kids. That's lovely. I love that. Mr. Biscuit says, I met Kate and John when they were in the band and still stayed punk. Never shared a stage, though. Shows were small, usually less than 50 of us. Okay. Christy says, I'm interviewing Dave Feldman live on Tuesday. Come on over if you have a question for him. What time on Tuesday? Because I have a feeling it's going to be like the same time that we're live, but we'll have to figure it out. And Chris says, yeah, it's going to be a good time. Dr. B, Dave Feldman, etc. I'm so excited. I just can't hide it. I would lose control, but I'm sitting here by myself drinking coffee. Maritza says, I'm in Texas and we'll be leaving after a week of visiting family and friends. Well, that's fantastic. Oh, yes. Be sure to go ahead and and sub to Christy's channel. Make sure to be on the lookout for that video with her and Dave Feldman. And Chris says, I've been working day in and day out on this cookbook, so today is a break. We're going grocery shopping, and I'm building a pellet grill. Oh, my goodness. I remember I built our pellet grill a couple years ago. I don't know why it's so hard. Like, it's just like, it's not difficult, but like awkward. It's awkward to build them. Like you need like 3 sets of hands. You need 3 sets of hands. You know what I'm saying? Meeting Wellness. Christy says, Dave Feldman interview is Tuesday, March 24th at 4 p.m. Pacific time. Right, JJ? So whenever that cookbook is announced, you will not hear me shut up about it. I'm going to be like, get a cookbook. I'm going to write a song about it, but I won't. But I'm not going to stop talking about it because that's what we do here. We promote our friends. Karen is here. Good morning, sweet friends. Good to see you, Karen. I'm going to pull up her channel real quick here. Let's see. I was going to try to see if she had it already scheduled or not. Not yet. Oh, what? There it is. 7:20. Yeah. Data versus Dogma, the cholesterol debate with Dave. Oh, yes. 7 p.m. So that'll be the same time that Chris is typically live. So I don't know if Chris is going to be live that night or not. We go live at 8. So I'll be joining in for a little while. Again, for those of you who are not familiar, Chandra and I have been going live on Tuesdays between 10 and noon usually, but now the situation has changed. The granddaughter is in our care during the day now. Mommy has gone back to work, so we will be going live at 8 p.m. from here on out, at least for the foreseeable future, until things change, which I don't know when that's going to be, if at all. Most nights it will be, or most weeks will be Tuesday. There are some things coming up this year where Tuesdays may need to get shifted. Just things that happen at night, things that happen, things that are, shows that are coming, bands that I want to see play. These are things that real life comes up. And I want to make sure that I am not missing those things because I do enjoy going out and seeing some bands play from time to time. And for whatever reason, this year there's a lot of them coming through and a small enough shows that I can afford to go. So I'm looking forward to that. Neurosis came out of retirement, weirdly enough, and dropped an album on Friday and a couple of tour dates, not coming here, but that's crazy. They've been in retirement for about 20 plus years. Maybe longer, but that's dope. I'm excited for that. Sounds good so far. I was listening to it yesterday. It sounds really good. Looking forward to seeing. I want to try to see the Black Dahlia Murder. They're coming through. I want to see Inferi is coming through. I think maybe get to see. I don't know. So many good bands coming through that I want to see. A lot of the death metal. I like the death metals. The death metals are the. The heavy stuff. I love that stuff. Chris's cookbook, the cookingest book to ever cook a book. That's right. I mean, don't cook the books, though, Chris, because then that's how you go to prison. There is something wrong with me. Lewis is here, and yes, Lewis is correct. Christy has a fantastic channel. Today is Baller Return Day. Stops at BJ's, Costco, Sam's. We can't have one place to return bottles. Wait, what bottle return? I don't understand. It's not 1966, Brian. No, I'm just kidding. It's like I remember watching, like one of the things like watching Sandlot, and they were trying to find bottles to return to buy a baseball. Chris has got to make coffee and get rolling, folks. Love you all. Love you, brother. Dustin, can't wait to see you on Thursday. I'm super stoked. Be careful and enjoy your coffee and spread that love to the family. And Cindy says, just making sure I was subbed. I haven't got any notifications for a long time. Meeting Wellness. Yeah. The thing is like if you don't click on a video or you don't click, like YouTube shows you like a live or something, and you don't click on it for a couple of, like maybe a week or two, it'll stop showing it to you. Tony says, I like the heavy music too, but I love all types of music. Going to see Bryan Adams acoustic set. I mean, everything I do. I mean, that's the song that I remember. I mean, Bryan Adams has a lot of songs, but that's the one I remember the most. Is weirdly enough, they didn't want to do it or whatever. They had other people trying to do it or whatever for the Robin Hood Prince of Thieves soundtrack that actually became like a mega huge hit for him. And Brian's like, you don't have bottle returns in Indy? I don't think so. What bottles would we return? What bottles would we return? I don't know. Like, are you plastic bottles? Do you guys still have the glass soda bottles? I don't know. What would we return? I'm like at a total loss here. Let me see. I don't even think we have anything like that here. Let's see. I remember seeing bottle returns like years and years ago at Kroger. Kroger had like a place in the back, like a conveyor belt, and you would take your 16-ounce Pepsi and Coke bottles, and you would load them onto the conveyor belt, and then they would give you your 5 cents per bottle back or whatever. But I don't know what bottles we would use now that would get returned. That's the confusion that I have. I remember bottle returns in the 80s. That was still you could still buy the glass bottles of soda. I remember the 16-ounce sodas coming, like you could buy like the Mountain Dew and it had like that thin thing of like styrofoam around, like that real thin styrofoam paper around the outside of it, round the outside. And then like Gatorade was in glass bottles. 2 liters had that weird black cap on the bottom. Weird. So yeah, I don't know. Yeah, live music is life. I don't even know. I can't even think of all the shows that I want to go see this year. So many coming. Like I can't even think. I know Cattle Decapitation, I think, is coming. I mean, just some of the heaviest bands are finally they're going to come through. I just need them, and they're all like, I know Between the Buried and Me is coming. I can't even think of all the bands that are coming through, and I probably even missed some. Paul Bear is coming. I need more money. I need to not stop being so broke. Oh my goodness. All soda and plastic bottles are 10 cents each. Yeah, we don't have that. Not at all here. We don't have that in Indiana at all. So like 20 ounce, like all the 20 ounce and all the like the water bottles you guys get. So like water bottles, like the 16.9 ounce water bottles, like do these get 10 cents each too? Like that kind of stuff? Is that a thing that happens? Because we don't have that here. Yeah, they charge a deposit, then you have to return. Yeah, that's not a thing that happens here. Yeah. Yeah, Brian says glass recycling in Pittsburgh is basically gone since not much is sold in glass containers anymore. The only thing that I see sold in glass containers anymore, like, is like some of the fancy milks. like Oberweis. There's a Oberweis milk, I think, is in the grocery stores, and you can get like white milk or chocolate milk. And JJ says, I remember walking up and down the country roads growing up to get bottles to take to the local store to get enough change to buy a Coke and candy bar. Yeah. And Brian says, I have 10 to 15 large garbage bags full to return. Where do you live, Brian? Are you in Michigan? I think maybe on the bottles, don't they say there's like a Michigan surcharge on that might be what I'm used to seeing then. There's always like a plastic thing like Michigan or whatever on it or something like that. That might be, okay, I think I remember seeing that. I didn't know it was still a thing. And aluminum cans are returnable. Yeah, I used to save cans there was a people that we would save cans for. But they stopped asking, so we stopped saving. Oh my goodness. Glad you are back. Who's back? Back again. My kids still like crushing them in the return machines. Not water, anything carbonated. Okay. Cindy says, we have a recycling center where we take our cans, plastic, paper, cardboard. They not recycle glass or styrofoam here in Kentucky. Lewis says, we pay bottle deposit on everything. It's 5 cents in New York. But there are no deposits in Kentucky. You're just doing it on your own. Yeah, that's true. Topo Chico sparkling water is sold. There's still a few things that are sold in water, but it's so few and far between that like it kind of escapes your mind. Like I know, like I've got a couple. I have some Topo Chico in the garage that are glass bottles. That's true. Some maybe cream sold in glass here. Expensive ones like Strauss. Yeah. Michigan has a bottle recycle program. And they probably charge a deposit. You just don't get the return. I stopped at Love's yesterday on the way home from going to Sam's, and a 20-ounce Coke Zero was $2.99. That's just because gas stations overcharge that. Excuse me. Yeah. It's like you can buy a 20-ounce bottle of soda from a gas station for like $2.99 or 2 for $5 or whatever. Or you can get like a 44 ounce for 89 cents. Oh, I'm muted. I muted myself to sneeze and then forgot to unmute. Sorry about that. All right. So we were talking about glass containers, salsa jars, the $2.99 stuff, all the things. Instead of buying, the 20 ounces, buy the 40 ounces or whatever when I'm on a trip in the car. Or because I mean, if I'm spending $5 on 2 bottles of Coke, that's 40 ounces for $4 or for $4 to $5. Or I can buy for $1.89 a big 40-ounce cup with ice. Yeah. North Dakota Carnivore Lance is in the house. Good morning. Yeah, the mute button works well. Yes, yes, yes. We have groups of schools that do fundraisers with Coca-Cola. A case of 20-ounce sodas end up being $1.05 each. So that's not bad. I'm not muted now. Nerds. Let's take a look. We're kind of caught up here on the chat. Let's take a look and see what else I had to talk about today. I put this stuff together when I'm making the stream, and then, like, you know. Yeah, I mean, so realistically, kind of coming into, let me go ahead and take down JJ's little comment here, but I was just going to say, like, what does it really mean for me going forward to be a health coach? I mean, because I've graduated, if you weren't familiar with that. Yesterday was the official graduation day. What can I do with it? What will I do with it? There's a lot of things that I have in mind. I was looking at maybe doing and becoming a not-for-profit and helping people who could not afford or cannot afford health coaches. I was looking at going in and working with practitioners who do not have time to spend the one-on-one time that they would need to spend with somebody to help them on their journey. Like special needs people. I would love to help special needs folks that are looking to better themselves, or, you know, even just kind of plant seeds. I don't know. I'd like to talk to, you know, companies and provide valuable information to companies that, you know, to people, you know, how can you eat in a way or live in a lifestyle in a way where you're not having that midday slump that I used to have so bad, like 2:00 and you're just like drowsing so hard. You're like trying so hard to stay awake. You're going around and rating all the stuff and who has candy and going to the vending machines and down in sodas and all that stuff. Like, how do we get there? Like, so many things that I would love to be able to do. So many things that I have in my mind that I would like to be able to do. Will, you know, what in it will pan out? What can I make work? There's probably, I mean, obviously I need to start with a couple of actual one-on-one clients and move on from one-on-ones. And I know that, you know, and like I said, I know that there's people out there who don't quite understand the benefit of the group coaching, because they think that maybe they're not getting enough out of it. I think group coaching is a good way to lower the price per person and expand the reach that a person, or like the number of people that like someone like myself can help. And even with something like group coaching, I can even do it. Like, that's where like the nonprofit comes in, the not-for-profit, or, you know, the special needs things comes in. I can do like group coaching, whether in person, Zoom, whatever, Google Meets, however I get, you know, however I decide to do it, where I can go in and help people who truly need it, who may not have the ability to pay for it. And, you know, I mean, obviously I need to make money. This will be a job, and this will be something that I make a living from. I'm not looking to be rich. I'm not going to be rich being a health coach. I think there are opportunities with companies and, you know, like big companies where they can do bigger payouts for, you know, like 2 to 3 to 4 hour kind of things. Then that can go a long way with helping me subsidize helping the people who can't afford it, the people who could utilize, you know, any kind of help, just to ask, you know, a form to ask questions. And, you know, because I mean, really, that's what I want to do, is help. I want to help people. I want to grow this YouTube channel. That's not going away. The YouTube channel is not going away. These lives aren't going away. And I don't think I don't think I plan to make this channel a platform necessarily for the coaching. I don't necessarily think that that's something that I want to do. I don't want to make this just a marketing platform for my coaching. I don't want to do that. I want to continue to bring value and build this channel into something, because I think that I still have an opportunity to have a large reach to those out there, and with that reach, providing value and providing information and my take on things, my opinions, and how I look at things. I think there's an opportunity there to help just as many people, or even more people, maybe thousands or hundreds of thousands of people. And those are the people that I may not ever be able to reach in a coaching scenario, especially one-on-one. Handling 1 or 2 clients a month or something like that is quite the endeavor, to where I still want to help as many people as I can. I'm trying to figure out how to break down the demographics and how to bring in a younger demographic, because again, I want to make sure that we are focusing on the youth. I think the youth get kind of left behind and left to their own devices. And I know that when we're looking at, or when I look at my analytics here on this channel, most people who watch my channel are 50s and above. The live streams are predominantly women. It's over 50% female. The videos are still 50 plus. It's evenly split male, female. And strangely enough, my short form content is male 65 plus, which is kind of crazy. And I do want to continue to helping everybody, but also I want to try to help people before all their ailments start as well. I have no idea how to do that, though. I have no idea how to bring in a younger crowd. We had Caleb, who would be here every once in a while. And he's 16, 17, 18 years old. I know he was 16 when he came in. I think he might be 17 now. I don't know for sure. And I know another one of the younger people is some of the younger people that come in here are like in their 30s, late 20s, early 30s. How do we get more Calebs? How do we get more Calebs involved with the community? How do we do that? How do we make this something that does that? And I don't know. That's another unknown chapter. That's because I have to start an LLC, learn business, understand taxes, and start trying to make an income. And there's a lot of things in place. I spend a good amount of money to hopefully utilize this to become a self-sustainable income source for me and the family. And along with the channel, I do have aspirations to continue growing this channel, growing subscribers, growing memberships, because again, the goal for all of us is helping as many people as we can. How do we do that? Reach. How do we get reach? Continuing making content, growing the channel, word of mouth, having new people in our live streams, and having new people find our videos, having a short form video that goes and hits 1.4 million views. That's what it helps. Now, out of a lot of those people, they're not looking for a betterment to themselves necessarily, so they're not going to necessarily stick around even if they subscribe. Because if I look at my dashboard, in the last 28 days, I have had 2,368 new subscribers. That sounds ridiculous. Because it is ridiculous. I was lucky to have 40 subscribers in a 28-day period for a long time. To go from 40 for a consistent amount of time to looking at my stats here and seeing that 2,368 new subscribers in 28 days. Last 28 days, I have 1.5 million views on the channel, 8,800 watch hours. That's crazy. But that's growth. That's 900 plus videos. That's week in and week out doing live streams and hanging out and putting in the work. Yep, I know I'm still annoying. That's fine. I'm always going to be annoying, Evelyn, just so you know. Marisa says, Dustin, you'll be an excellent coach. I hope so. I hope so. I just might. Terry girl is here. Good morning, Terry. So very glad to see you. Sean says I was going to ask a question, but it would have gotten flagged. Navy humor was kicking in. I love it. Mia's Girls is here. Now that I have a minute, the only heavy metal band that I have ever listened to was Skillet. Monster, Hero, Whispers in the Dark, Comatose, and Awaken Live were some of my favorites. I never listened to Skillet. I'm not sure what they're about. Oh, my goodness. Oh, yeah, the plastic grocery bags. Yeah, we got rid of them. And, Callie, no one likes the paper bags we have now. Most have no handles, and we still pay per bag. Ugh. Well, like, I would get back, like, the paper bags from, like, Aldi we would have. They would, like, you would go to pick up the bag, and the handle would just break, regardless of how much was in the bag. So that doesn't do us any good. Rebecca's in the house. Good morning from North Carolina. How are you liking North Carolina? How are you doing? How is it? How is it living in a new country? Let us know. Have you been to have you been to the States before? There's just questions that I don't know. And Lindy says she loves her group sessions, group coaching sessions. And Mr. Biscuit says, dude, not for profit is based, mad respect. I just want to be able, I mean, obviously not for profit. You still make money. I mean, you got to make money to operate. But I want to try, I grew up low income. I grew up with a lot of those services. I want to try to help people because, I mean, there's a lot of obesity. There's a lot of sickness in low income. Why is that? Low income doesn't necessarily mean inability to purchase food, but there's a stigma when it comes to what you should be buying on low income. People have, and I mean, and there's a lot of things that I disagree with about the way that things are handled, right? So growing up, my mom would go to Aldi to try to get as much food as we could. So she was buying mostly highly processed stuff. We didn't eat a lot of meat. We didn't eat a lot of beef. We didn't eat, like, she'd make roast potatoes and carrots every once in a while, which is probably one of the healthiest foods she would ever make. Outside of that, it was Swanson's this and, TV dinners that. And it was always a matter of, quantity per dollar. And even still these days, people look at calorie per dollar, right? We really should be looking at nutrient density per dollar. How do we look and how can we compile nutrient density per dollar? Because it's not necessarily just calories per dollar, because you can get totally screwed on the calorie front per dollar by buying frozen broccoli. Because that's what, 30 calories a bag, and then they're $1 a bag. So you're spending $1 for 30 calories. Or you can spend $5 on a Costco rotisserie chicken that's 3 pounds of chicken. How many calories is in that 3-pound thing of chicken? And then you're going to get the bones, and you can make a broth, and then you can make it. There's a major disconnect in the education on how to spend the budget, and people just don't know. The education isn't there, and people get so angry and they want to do things to undermine. I see things that get, where, the SNAP benefits get undermined all the time. But I think, growing up on food stamps and growing up in those programs, my mom did the best she could, and she was trying to buy bulk for less money. She was trying to fill our bellies. She was trying to make sure we didn't go hungry. There wasn't a lot of understanding of nutrient density per dollar. How do we get the most nutrient dense food we can per dollar? Now, most of us in this room, most of us here in this live are going to understand that that's going to be beef. You're going to get the most nutrient dense beef or the most nutrient dense food between beef and eggs. How many eggs can you get for $1? You can get, I mean, I think even right now, I don't know, is it $8 or $9 at Walmart for 5 dozen eggs? So you're getting 5 dozen eggs for $10. Let's say $10. I don't know. Honestly, don't know what they're costing right now. I could look it up on Walmart.com. I might be able to tell me. Let's take a look. Let's take a look. Because I'm curious. So it shows me right now that a 5 dozen box is $8.12. So that's $8. So there's 60 eggs for $8. That's a high ratio of nutrient density per dollar. I would say your highest nutrient density is going to be between beef and eggs. That's going to be the highest nutrient density per dollar. But getting people to understand that and not go, but I can buy, for $1, I can buy a box of mac and cheese, but then, and that might feed my 2 kids for $1. But are they getting nutrition? Are they getting what they need? Yeah, the box of Kraft mac and cheese is made with fortified wheat, fortified whatever pasta, but is that bioavailable? And I guess that's a whole video. That's a whole series of videos, I think, that could be made. But, Thank you, Christy. I appreciate you. Thank you, Lance. Those some great ideas, Dustin. Thank you. We still a ton of the reusable bags. I try to keep them in the van, but I don't shop Aldi all that much, and we still reuse our plastic bags from Walmart. So all the bags we get go into a bag, and then we use, like, Shander takes one for lunch every day, and so we use those. We use them quite a bit. So we use those bags. So most of the time those bags don't just go in the trash. So they at least get at least 2 uses, sometimes 3 or more. But each bag that we get from the grocery store at least gets 2 uses out of it. And Risa says they got rid of the plastic bags here in New Jersey a few years ago. Now they sell reusable shopping bags, and they're very strong for like 10 cents each. I have a ton of them with different seasonal designs. And Christian says, yeah, we pay per paper bag now. And they can't be put very much in each one because no handles. Ugh. But I remember paper bags back before plastic bags. I remember going to the grocery store and having to carry the paper bags home. You could always have levels like the free coaching comes with calorie counting. Oh, I couldn't do that. I couldn't in all good conscience at all do that. Yeah, the paper bags for school covers. Yeah, 100%. I don't even know if Walmart doesn't have paper bags. I can't even get them to have bigger bags. Like if I do buy the big 10-pound roll of beef, something to put that in. Because they're always wet. Mia says, my nephew introduced me to their music after going to seeing a Slipknot concert. I saw Slipknot in 99, the day their album dropped. So I saw them the day their album went on sale. We had got a 2-song cassette sampler like a month or 2 before, and we listened to that like crazy. I'm pretty sure it had like Eyeless on it and something else. That first Slipknot record was phenomenal. That first show, seeing them, they played like 25 minutes, and it was like the craziest 25 minutes ever. Like I've seen them many times since. I've seen them in Milwaukee. I saw them headline at the Eagles Ballroom in Milwaukee in like 2000. Crazy. bonkers. Yes, don't forget to like, share, subscribe. Yes. There's also Alaya English. She's 16-year-old. She's 16 years old and a certified health coach. Another youngster in the space. Yeah, hopefully that's a growing trend. I hope that that's something that starts to help. It's just so hard to get the youth to care because they've got a million years to live. They don't care. Yeah, Biscuit says that's all about the community will help. No shade to profit. Yeah, I mean, I know that there's still like even when it comes to like YouTube and creators here, whether there's ads before or during the videos, or the people doing ad reads and stuff. There's an ongoing stigma in this community. I see more and more, maybe less and less. I don't know. I mean, you guys tell me about people trying to monetize, and I think as people become monetized, it gets easier. But I mean, it takes money to make money. It takes money to help people. It takes money to keep this channel alive. And CB Carmax is also actually gives you satiety instead of make you starve for an hour later. Yeah, coming back to buy more. Yeah, 100%. I mean, do I still enjoy some of those super highly palatable foods? 100%. I'm not better than that sometimes. I'm just not. But I understand this is the power of ground beef, the power of hamburger patties, bacon, eggs, sardines. How much nutrient density are you getting per dollar? And I think that's a great way to think about it. And Christy says, I teach in low socioeconomic area and all my students have a ton of highly processed food. When I say things like, that's not good for you, they look at me shocked and say, actually? People don't know. And the thing is I kind of feel that we sometimes in this community, and it's really no fault of our own, but once we figure it out, we forget what it's like to not know. Once you know something, it's hard to look back and go, there was a time where I had no idea. There was a time when I didn't know this. There was a time where I thought that salads were healthy. There was something that I was watching before I started this live, before I started getting ready for the live. There was a company, I can't think of, they were basically a salad store, like a fast food salad. And it started in New York, DC. I think it started in DC. And they were tech, and they were like, I'm tired of all the unhealthy food like burgers. So they wanted to create something healthy. They wanted to create fast food salads. They would create an app. You go and you would build your salad, but they were like $16 or $18 a salad before everything happened. This was in like 2007, 2008, and I mean that, they've gone on to be successful, they did their IPO. They became $1 billion company, but then they've started to slowly fall off. But I think, you look at that, you're spending all that money for almost no nutrient density. Yeah, you're going to put maybe 3 ounces of chicken into a salad, right? But you're going to have all that lettuce and all that stuff, and there's no real nutrition in there. But if you were to go and honestly answer this question for me, if you were to go out honestly and ask 1,000 people on the street what they think the healthiest food you can eat is, would it be a steak dinner? Would it be a salad? Do you think more people are going to say steak dinner or salad? Almost everybody's going to say salad. Salad is the healthiest food you can eat. Vegetables, raw salad, all that stuff is going to be the healthiest food you can eat. Now, Can you make salads tasty? Oh, of course you can. You can make salads super delicious. You're going to pour all kinds of like vinaigrettes and dressings on it. You're going to put bacon in it. You're going to put egg in it. You're going to put, cold cuts chopped into fine little pieces, some ham in there. You're going to put some sunflower seeds and probably some candied almond slivers in there and some croutons and a whole bunch of cheese. And it's going to be delicious. Because when you think salad, that's what I think of, all the stuff. Is it healthy? I mean, it depends. It can be if you do it right. But that's still, you still got to then in our community, you still have to find a seed oil free salad dressing that you like. Or try to make one on your own, or find a seasoning packet to make the salad dressing that doesn't have maltodextrin in it. But that kind of leads us into another thing. Again, like, to bring new people in, we have to be mindful of how and what kind of pressure we apply, right? So if we are trying to get the young people in and we're trying to get new people to start this out and people don't understand what they're eating is unhealthy, and you start just going in and saying everything that they eat and everything that they have in their house is complete trash, people take that personal. People take that as an insult because basically they take it as you were calling them stupid. You've been buying all this trash for all these years. You must be stupid. And it couldn't be further from the truth. Now, are there some people in our community who probably give those vibes? 1,000% there's people in our community who give those vibes. But the majority of us aren't. Majority of us are understanding, and we're compassionate, and we have empathy for the people who are living with tiny budgets trying to feed families. It's even worse now. Gas prices are going wackadoo. Diesel prices are wackadoo. Beef prices are higher than they've ever been. How do you stretch that dollar to get the most nutrient density? But also, how do you convince someone how to spend their dollar in a correct manner? We can't freak out about the salad dressings. We can't freak out about kind of getting through what they still have. Because a person living in poverty isn't going to throw away food. They're not. So I don't know. It's going to be a long road. And I know that it's like every week we kind of talk about this, and I think of something else that makes the road longer. But I grew up in poverty. I grew up with a mom who did her best. I grew up with a mom who bought food in the idea of making our bellies full, doing the best she could as far as what she was considered health, or what she considered healthy. She did the best that she could. And I know that there's a million moms out there doing the exact same thing right now with they're trying to be healthy with an unhealthy budget. So how do we help them? How do we help them without being judgmental? Without making them feel less than? Without making them feel stupid for all the things they've been buying in all these years? Because even still, how do we make them trust us? Why should they trust us? Again, we have to understand that we are trying to build trust. We're trying to build a community with transparency, compassion, information, but there has to be trust. They have to trust us enough to listen to us about the information. How do we get there? Hopefully we can get there. We're going to get there slowly, right? Oh, yeah. Evelyn says, talking about eggs, we were both sick for a couple of weeks, so we had a backlog, 6 to 7 dozen in the pre-10, 17 plus dozen on the counter. Can you say we need an egg fast? Oh, yeah. Oh, refrigerator. So then the refrigerator, I was like, the pretend. I'm like, that's something that I don't even know about. Yeah. Slipknot in Birmingham in 2005, Fear Factory. There was a summer I saw like Fear Factory like 4 or 5 times, and they played the same exact set every time. It was like the summer. I think it's like with the summer when that the song Cars, when the Randy Newman cover of Cars. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, and of course they don't feel. I mean, they feel it, but they don't know what it is. They feel tired. They feel groggy in the morning. Look at any teenager in an American high school in the morning. They're all like, they're drinking coffee already. They're drinking soda already. They're doing all these things already. And they're like 16, 17 years old, and they're already acting like they're 35 years old. Groggy in the morning. Now, are a lot of them doing sport, like doing like 6-7 hours of school, and then doing 3-4 hours of sports, 3-4 hours of homework, maybe 2 hours at a job or something like that at night. You don't know. They're doing a lot. Teenagers get pushed to the brink, but they're also super tired in the morning. I know I was one, but I was also stepping on a school bus smoking a cigarette. Put that cigarette out just as I got on the school bus because I was cool. So far from it. But yeah. CB says, I stopped talking to ignorant people. Well, we can't do that because most of them need our help. We just have to find a way to communicate in a way that is beneficial to them and not so irritating to us, right? Because we can't just write off people who don't know better. But CB says, but I remember when I thought food can't be bad for you. Now I understand the difference in actual food versus products. Think about like the CEO from McDonald's the other day doing the taste test of his burger. And he's like, ooh, I'm excited about this new product. And he kept calling it a product. He never called it a burger. And he would touching it like he'd never eaten food before. He's like, teeny little bite. I'm like, you do not eat McDonald's. You do not like McDonald's. What are you doing? Why do they keep letting him make videos? But yeah. That's the thing. Salads to me, like I always talk about lettuce is just crunchy water. Like it's all just crunchy water. Like all like cucumber, crunchy water. I mean, you can like them, and I'm not trying to say that you shouldn't eat what you like. If salads don't bother you, have a good time. But yeah, there's glyphosates and seed oils and all the things that go into that, you know? Yeah, dried cranberries. I ate about 8 cups of salad like every day. Yeah, like you see people and they have these gigantic salads and they're just shove it in their face and you can see they're like emaciated and they're tired. And they're like, if they could use a steak. Eva Lynn says, tip. I'm going to venture to say pro tip. If you eat salads when ordering at a restaurant, get sour cream instead of salad dressing. It's way cleaner. Add your purse salt, and it's amazing and so much cleaner. I need to dig a little deeper. To find out like the table salt that we use, right? The table salt that we get. Like, or like that's on everything. Like, I'm curious to know, like, how much worse is it for us? I know I've made videos on the dextrose that's inside of salt, like iodized sea salt. There's there's dextrose in it. But I don't know why there's sugar in my salt. Yeah, it's like a gram of sugar for an entire container of salt. If that. It's not a huge deal. And I understand that people don't want that, but they put iodine in there because people were iodine deficient and people in the Midwest were getting goiters. And they're trying to fix that. He started targeting college kids, making clickbait titles and thumbnails. Yeah, yeah, but that only works for so long. That only works a little bit, and then the algorithm catches on. And Mia says, I was watching a non-keto live, and they were saying that their sister has fibromyalgia, and I started telling them how I used to have it, and how keto carnivore had helped me. Now, how receptive were they to that information? Others were saying they have it too. My heart broke for them. Some of their thoughts were that fibromyalgia isn't curable. Again, we can't throw the cure word around. We have to be very mindful about that word. But is it something that can be improved upon with diet shift? Yes. You have seen great response, but a lot of people just don't have the idea that they can't fathom the idea that food can be beneficial. There's a friend, an acquaintance of mine. One day she was talking about all these issues that she had. And I was like, well, have you thought about switching up how you eat and figuring out what could be causing it? And she goes, I've worked around doctors there's no way that they would tell me. And I was like, okay. She just got people get so angry at the thought that food can fix things, especially if they work in medicine, because only medicine can fix you, right? Well, that's only medicine can legally cure something, allegedly. And Evelyn says, yeah, I can't even help my own kids, but you do. You do help your own kids because they see what you do. They see what you do. They see what Carl does. And they see whether or not they're receptive now. Eventually, they will think about it, and they will move. Once they start kind of feeling bad, they're like, oh, they'll know what to do. You do wonderful by leading by example. And that's really all we can hope for. And Sean says, I try to get as many people as I can to take the red pill, Matrix reference, and learn that highly processed food is extremely bad for you. I just tell them that big food and big pharma are aligned to you. But even still, that's hard to wrap your mind around. It's easier to fool people than it is to convince them that they've been fooled. So, I mean, I've had more success from people that I have never talked to seeing what I do, seeing the transformations that I've had, than anybody I've talked to and given information to. And Mr. Biscuit says that budget carnivore can work if you don't have sensitivities that are identified. I would urge any who are struggling under poverty, because that's me, to not get caught up at any dogma, at least try. Yeah, I mean, realistically, frozen burger patties, eggs, Costco bacon, if you have access to a Costco butter. People are like, it doesn't have to be Kerrygold. It doesn't have to be super grass-fed Amish butter. It doesn't have to be any of that stuff. Regular butter is fine. Regular hamburger is fine. Even if that burger is sold at Walmart and has natural flavors, it's probably okay and going to be 99.99999% better than everything else you've been putting in your mouth for 10 years, 20 years, 30 years, whatever. And that's the thing we can't lose sight of in this community. We can't lose sight that there is getting started and there's good enough to get started. We can't be so dogmatic and so just irritatingly like the kid, you didn't give us homework, Mr. Teacher, about anything and everything that people do when they're starting off. Even the other day, I saw a video about it was a double cheeseburger that had the double cheeseburger used burger patties as the bun, and the guy was like, "I'm never going to be a skinny man," and I'm like, "You could if you ate this," and someone was like, "You could be if you ate this but didn't get ketchup." I mean, is ketchup ideal? No, but you're getting that person on board. Let them have the ketchup. That's not for you to decide. Don't have to ketchup. I'm like, we've got to be not so. We don't want to be that kid in school who you wanted to beat up. Does that make sense? We don't want to be a community full of the kids in school you wanted to beat up because they were like, there's always those kids. There was a kid I remember who came in, he was in school with me, and he came in when I was working at Steak and Shake, and he was like, "Oh, I got this in the mail today." I was like, "Oh, did your?" And I saw he was with his dad, or someone was like, "Oh, did your mom get that for you?" She goes, "He's like, no, because if she got it for me, she'd had to pay postage." I'm like, I don't care. How does that? Just say, "No, my dad got it for me." Why do you got to be a snotty little brat? And we can't be snotty little brats in this community. We can't afford it. We can't afford to be snotty, know-it-all, jerk-face brats. Doesn't matter if it's keto, carnivore, or what have you. We can't afford to be stuck up, nose in the air, I'm better than you, jerk-face brats. We can't. And I think that's where I'll leave you, is jerk-face brats. Don't be a stuck-up, jerk-face brat when it comes to somebody else's health. You can be stuck up as you want when it comes to yourself, but if someone's coming to you for help, don't be a stuck-up jerk face. Okay? Don't do it, because it's irritating and nobody likes you. And I say that with love. I say that with love, right? I say that with love. And I'm going to miss a bunch of your comments, but I do love all of you guys. Yeah, I mean, so, target celebrities. I would love that. But and as I said, like, here we are in our community, who are the celebrities that are joining our group? We've got RFK Jr. Nobody outside of our community trusts him. Nobody likes him. Nobody wants him in the position that he's in. Doesn't help us. He may or may not be making good decisions in some aspects of his role, but people don't trust him. The larger community, the larger group of people outside here do not trust him. So he could give the right advice and people don't care. And we've got Mike Tyson. Mike Tyson has been posting on Twitter about how to get healthy and eat better and eat whole foods and protein forward and all these things. People think he's crazy. He bit someone's ear off. And then we've got the things that's coming up with Dr. Barry talking with Kirk Cameron. Kirk Cameron is somebody who a majority of society and pop culture thinks is crazy. We don't have a lot going for us on the celebrity front. And I'm always a little hesitant to even worry about celebrities in the first place, because celebrities are front facing, but they have a lot of weird skeletons in their closet. And then not everybody trusts a celebrity. Well, a celebrity told me so. You know what I mean? You look at, like, think about this. Think about when, what is her name? I can't think of her name right now, but she's a thin little wafy celebrity. And she was talking about buying food on a budget. Oh, I can get my week's worth of food on a budget and not spend very much. And I know who it was. Let me figure out who she was. Let me see. Let's see. Gwyneth, I want to say it was Gwyneth Paltrow, okay? Now, I could be wrong, but Gwyneth Paltrow came out and said, I'm going to show you how I shop and buy groceries. She went to the store and spent whatever her budget was for the week. For the week. This is what she was going to eat for a week. And it was like 1,200 calories. And I know calories don't matter, right? We don't necessarily think calories matter, but she only bought 1,200 calories worth of veggies and stuff for the whole week. So celebrities aren't necessarily our best friends either. So I think there's just a lot of things we have to be very mindful of. But I like the ideas. Keep the ideas coming. But yeah, I love each and every one of you. You know that. Oh my goodness. You know that this moment means a lot to me. Every Sunday is important to me. I love being here and talking with you, sharing my time with you. You know, I do. And I just hope that you have a great week. And I'm going to go ahead and say goodbye. I love each and every one of you. I really do. And we're going to go ahead and hit those credits, everybody. Later. Let me try that again. Hold on. I don't know why it's being very slow. Later.